So Marvel Rivals dropped. I think I can do it. So anyone that knows me knows that I love third-person shooters. It's always been my thing, and I've been waiting for a third-person shooter to fill the hole in my heart that Last of Us 2 left. And on top of all that, I'm also a big fan of comic books, Marvel and DC, pretty much anything, honestly. So when this was announced, and I saw that this was going to be a third-person hero shooter based on Marvel comic characters, I was all over that shit. I was trying and failing to get into the beta, watching all the leaks, the guides. When the game dropped, I literally went into practice and just played as every single character just to see how they handled the lore and how the abilities and everything tie in the gameplay, hear all the dialogue options. I was fucking obsessed. I was going crazy for it. There's been a lot of videos, a lot of speculation on why this game popped off and why it's so damn successful when something like Concord, which launched earlier this year, completely failed. And there's people saying, is it just the Marvel IP inflated the numbers? Well, I mean, kinda. Yeah, it's Marvel. Marvel's going kind of crazy right now, so, you know, it definitely does help them. But while I think it does help them, I think this game popped for the exact same reason that Overwatch went as crazy as it did when it launched. And I think it's because this game, as well as Overwatch and hell, even something like TF2, which is kind of like the grandfather of all this, has an amazing grasp on its cast of characters, and a lot of time was put in the flesh in them out through gameplay interactions, abilities, dialogues, cues, everything like that. Overwatch had a brand new cast of characters, and through the way that they handled their trailers, the in-game interactions, even the design aesthetic, they basically made damn near the entire cast of characters household names for like their respective roles. To the point people call like a tank character a Reinhardt, or they'll call like the fast, annoying character a Tracer. And that character building and like time and consideration and I guess design that they put into it is what I think this game excels at as well. And it has the benefit of amazing design tied to the fact that these are already established and popular Marvel superheroes. So when you mesh it together, it just creates something that goes fucking crazy. Now, to look at an example of this, just so I'm not sitting here yapping, I want to show a character's kit that I think basically personifies why this game is in the position that's in right now. So we're gonna look at the kit of my favorite superhero, Captain America.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Now, if we break down Captain America in a few words, he's a Boy Scout, he's a leader, he's tenacious, he's a martial artist, he has his shield. All those things are just like basic character traits. You know, Cap never gives up, he's always diving into action, he's the leader of the Avengers. He's the goody two-shoes, like Superman as character, you know what I mean? And he's a super soldier, of course. Now, how would someone who doesn't know Cap know that by picking up this game? How does the game present that to the player in its gameplay and its interactions? Well, immediately when you start a match, you get dialogue options between your characters on the team. And every character has interactions, like they all speak to each other, they have like certain dialogue options. If you're the nerd-ass nigga like I am, you've listened to every single one of them. But for Captain America specifically, you would notice that characters who interact with him versus interacting with everyone else, they always regard Captain America with a level of respect, or like they're honored to be around him. Even the villains like Hela and Loki will speak to Cap like, oh shit, it's Captain America. Like they'll still show him a level of respect that they won't give to anyone else.
Across every timeline, brave Captain America fights tyrannical Hydra.
I don't know about every timeline. I just help where I can.
You'll probably end up in Valhalla. Too bad.
Rocket, I'm counting on you on the battlefield.
What? Don't got a raccoon joke like everyone else?
I don't. And Quill was right. You do have, and I quote, one hell of a tactical brain in that tiny skull.
He said that?
Cap! Holy cow, you sure make a guy feel better just by being here.
Same here.
Oh, come on, you're just kidding me.
We're at war. Kidding is for later.
Now from this alone, a person who does not know Cap at all can say like, hey, every single time I get into a match and a character talks to me, they're always like, oh my god, it's Captain America. are like, oh my god, like, you deserve the best, or like, we're now the Cap's here, we know we're gonna win. From that alone, you can kind of assume like, oh, Captain America must be like an honorable dude, like he's a stand-up guy, you must be the leader, you must be the ones that inspires hope. So just from that tiny like 30 to 45 second interaction at the beginning of a match, you kind of already have your character established. But there's more than just the dialogue. Of course, there's the gameplay. So there's 3 roles in this game. There's duelist, there's tank, and strategist. Your duelist are your people who are just basically killing motherfuckers. They're just in your face killing everybody. The strategists are your supports. They're the ones that are healing, or they're providing ammo for the team or something like that. And then there's the tanks. They're either the ones that are in the back lines protecting your strategist, or they're diving in trying to break up the enemy team so they can kind of separate them and cause chaos so your team can move in and make a play. Captain America falls into the tank role, and he is a dive tank specifically. So he's that one I said that's going to be diving in and allowing the team to make a play. Now, if you noted what I said earlier about Captain America, with him being the leader, him diving into the back line to set up plays for his team makes complete sense. That already alone kind of adds to his character. But let's just go through his abilities and everything that he can do. His main thing is he wants to get in close, break enemy lines, take out any support and backline so his team can move up. Now, to support this, Captain America's kit gives him an unlimited sprint as one of his base abilities. You can toggle this whenever you want, doesn't have a cooldown, so you can always be fucking sprinting, running ahead, diving into shit. Now, anyone who's seen the movies, anyone who's seen clips of Captain America, you know this is a running motherfucker. This motherfucker be running everywhere, and he's a super soldier, so he runs fast as shit. And this also adds into the fact that he's the one that wants to be diving out. He's the one that wants to be in front. He's the one that wants to be annoying. He's the one that wants to be in the enemy's face and just beating the shit out of them. So this sprint allows him to constantly be there, constantly be getting back into battles, constantly being there to support his team. Now, he can sprint constantly, he can sprint endlessly, but when he's in someone's face, what exactly does he do? So, we know Captain America is one of the best hand-to-hand combatants in Marvel. With his shield in his hands, or even without his shield, just his hands, he's going to beat some of the strongest people in the verse. So naturally, when he gets in the enemy's face, he starts laying hands on them. Now, Captain America is interesting because his melee is a mix of punches and shield throws. So when you get up close, you land 2 hits, then you can back off and throw 4 bouncing shield shots that basically will ricochet between enemies if they're close enough. And I think this is an interesting way to make him stand out and implement his shield, and more than just like having it be an ability that you just throw. Because you constantly can just get in, bop bop, back off, and then you're using your shield and throwing it around, getting those like cool Captain America bounces and stuff like that. And it's a good way to give him like a more range type ability without giving him like a pistol or something like that. And he utilizes, of course, his main weapon, the shield. Now, speaking of the shield, on top of the 4 shield throws that I just mentioned, he has an ability to just throw the shield outright, which honestly is one of the most satisfying things in this entire game. Throwing that shield off of a wall and getting a kill on an enemy who's running away, or throwing it at the ground, bouncing it into the air, getting a kill off somebody who's like flying or something. It's just something about the way the shield responds and the audio cue on it. I don't know. It's fire. Now, lastly, your shield isn't just a weapon, so you can use it to block incoming damage. This isn't like a Reinhardt or Doctor Strange shield. This is more so for just yourself, or maybe someone nearby. But with this shield out, you have an extreme amount of mobility. So with the unlimited sprint and the shield, you basically can charge forward into a barrage of projectiles, deflecting everything, and then bash the hell out of the enemy to initiate combat for the team. And if that doesn't sound like some Captain America shit, I don't know what does. So, his ultimate, bro literally screams Avengers Assemble. He charges forward, leaving a trail of like the Star Spangled Banner or some shit behind him, which buffs the entire team, giving them a speed buff and I believe a damage buff as well if they follow the path that Captain America lies down. So bro is literally charging in front of the team, lying a path for his team to follow into combat, with him on the front receiving a health and damage buff. He's literally leading the team as his ultimate. Like, it's just these things that I just think whoever designed these characters, like, they did such a good job of just implementing the character into all these abilities. And it was just shit like this that just made me happy. Just like the nerd in me was like happy to see that he had something like this. I honestly didn't even know what to expect from a Captain America ult. And then I saw this, I was like, oh shit, that's Cap. Diving in the back lines, having extra health, and just fighting and fighting and fighting until you drop while you're there with your team, like, that's some Cap shit. I don't know what to say.
Avengers!
Assemble.
So that was just a brief look at just one of like the 20-something characters in this game, but I think that kit alone shows that whoever was responsible for the hero design, the writing, or even the kit design or the gameplay design, they definitely had a passion for these characters. They definitely took their time when crafting all these kits, all these maps. They took their time in crafting everything around this, because like, I feel like you don't get something like this from someone who didn't care, or for someone who was just trying to cash in off the Marvel IP. I think this is bigger than just trying to cash in. I think they genuinely wanted to make something here, and I think honestly that they succeeded. With that said, if you're not playing Marvel Rivals, I mean, start playing it. It's free to play. Highly recommended. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe for more of our yapping.